on their T sides. The calling was much more clean than we've seen out of them in the past. And here in Dust2, I expect much of the same, and they're going to start on this Terra side.
And start off with a very quick B push as well. Devilwalk and Lex have already made their way to the site. They peel off. Okay, I thought they might actually just go, as all four of them had the Nikes laced up, but instead it's back toward mid for a more default practice to this. Pith already spotted them coming out from lower. He's managed to retreat back down Cat, in fact, dropping into CT, and Peter was in mid to slow that down. He's also gone back over, so they go with a 3 support on A late, despite the fact that this round could have already transpired in B when it initially started to unfold.
Yeah, some early pressure from Peter and Pitt on Catwalk and in mid, and now that's going to fall. CLG man down. They fall into a mid B split, and here they come. Devilwalk's very, very low, 14 HP, but he's got to hold strong. He's close up. He gets dropped by Hayes. Still Lex in the bomb site. He picks up one before getting traded immediately. 3-on-3 situation.
And Hayes now, having come through mid, turns back to defend from mid because that's where the retake is coming in from Mythic, and it's Pitt that wants to try and get through the doorway. Spotted up Cutler as he crossed back over, because the crucial part of this whole play right now is that the bomb hadn't gone down until just there. So if he had hit that shot on Cutler earlier, he could have prevented that entire bomb plant, but instead it does come down to Cutler regardless, and Pitt again on pistol rounds. This guy is looking solid today. Another 2K for him, and they'll start things off with the win.
Well, and that's promising. It's still very early, obviously, but 2 kills for Pitt, 2 kills for Anger. Those are some heavy fraggers that if they show up, this match will get very, very interesting, because you got to think that CLG is just the heavy favorites right now. Yeah,
you would have to say but again, going with Mythic after the last match, if Peter and Pitt can contribute as they were, there's a chance. There's definitely a real chance here. You can't discredit that. And in fact, Peter's going to go to the scout right away. They are going to bring up 4 rifles, including that scout, if you want to call that a rifle rather than a sniper. But it's going to be the MP7 for Devilwalk. And he heads back over to the default play in B. So him and Lex are going to be holding B together. We'll see how the rest of the team wants to play this, because Peter, already showing off his scout skills with 1 kill on Cutler, so far has been favoring that mid-early play, but there's also a chance that when the op comes out, he goes to that long A presence as well, so we'll have to see how this develops.
He'll be very mobile once that comes out. Either way, I still am just very interested that we see these teams at this event just not investing into the armor with these second-round buys that we can see to be so effective. I mean, it's a shift in the meta here in North America that we don't see in Europe. They're still doing the second-round buy, so I'm very curious as to why all North American teams at this event seem to be doing this.
Keeping in mind, too, though, that they did get the bomb down in that first round.
Yes, that's a good point. For that
to try and get more Molotovs in the third round, exactly. Or utilities, not necessarily Molotovs, so to say. But Peter is going to get some damage initially onto Hayes as he rounds the corner, looking for a little bit more because JDM's causing problems by taking down Pitt in a return frag. This is going to allow yet another bomb plant as CLG fight themselves that close to the platform. It may be just FNS remaining, but now 2 bomb plants. The armor might not have mattered, but let's look forward. How many more utilities can they bring out now? Not only that, potentially a third-round bow with the op.
Yeah, I mean, that's very strong. I'm actually kind of surprised that Mythic let them get that one off. And that's kind of the thing when you have so many rifles in that scout, and you don't have those nades. You know, 1 nade there could have stopped that plant. But either way, 2-0 for Mythic. They've got a good start, but this is basically a full buy for CLG. And you're right, they can even go for the op, and they do. JDM's going to pick up the glass cannon. And Peter's, I mean, he can do very much the same, but he's going to buy an MP9.
MP9 best gun in game. Okay. You didn't know that?
No, I did not.
Well, you learn something new every day.
Yeah, I figured it out now.
The more you know.
That's a misread of the situation for him to buy that there. He had so much money.
Absolutely, and obviously where they have 2 bomb plants, they're going to be buying up. Now, whether or not he expects JDM to go for the glass cannon, that's another story. But still, having an MP9 against rifles is still a bit of a problem altogether. Anger takes a bit of damage from the initial nade down to 85.
Yeah, and much like the pistol round, you see Peter Devilwalk aggressive in mid. You also see Pitt and Anger playing on Catwalk, but it doesn't matter. Tarek gets the entry, falls off immediately, takes some damage. And Peter can't trade it off. Swaps for the MP7.
Slowly counting down. 9, 7. We need to go back to the MP5 next. Pitt's going to take down Cutler, though, so another kill for Mythic, but Tarek responding into Peter. 3 HP to work with for Tarek, mind you. And he's got problems, although we think he actually is aware of it, and he reads that correctly, that Anger was coming from above on Catwalk. Still can't do much about it because, like I said, the life points were not in his favor. But Hayes now has that bomb down. 3 straight rounds that CLG have got the plan, and this time with weapons up and an even number of men to fight back with. It's a good chance for them to take this first round, this first gun round as it is in this third round buy. But Hayes is going to take down Lex. They're still coming forward in spades, but it's Pitt that gets stopped. And as a result of that, Anger says, nope, not favorable. I'm going to keep my AK-47 now, as it were, as he swaps that out from the M4. but he'll save it for the next.
Yeah, even if they win that retake, there's still JDM with that op over at long. That was planted for him, so it's still a tough situation. No smoke. They had to block off that defuse and try and go for that. Now Peter buys the AWP in this round. It's a glass cannon as well. I'm actually interested because on pistol round and on that round there was a very heavy lean. There was players for Mythic on catwalk, 2 players close up in mid. In pistol round they had Peter peeking mid with the pistol, and they also had Pitt getting aggressive on catwalk, looking into lower B. So they're applying pressure on the defense for that mid control. And there's a tag onto Hayes. Peter hits him down to 23 HP.
So early damage. Definitely still something not to take lightly. Hayes is around to still make his presence felt. We'll see if he can do so. FNS does look toward Peter, who's waiting on the opposite side of that door, but the fire's in place, so he won't be able to push through any further. That'll buy them a bit more space. And Pitt, he's actually going to spot one up through the door. That's Tarek again. Early damage onto him. Last round we saw he had the 3 HP, couldn't do much with it. Now it's 39, a little bit better. And they go for the drop strat, so Hayes wants to overwhelm them. This forces everyone off the platform, but there's no one even there. Pitt is all the way back down in CT, and Peter and Enger are both up toward long, so they'll play for the retake. The good news is they have long to work with, and with Peter on the op, it's not a bad position to be, but again, bomb down for CLG.
Yeah, and it's going to come down to this retake. FNS and mid, he gets taken out by Devilwalk. This is looking very good for Mythic so far. 2 kits on the board. They've got to take out this catwalk stack. JDM and Cutler. Cutler's in the smoke. They might not know it, and they combine for both kills. There goes that prong of the retake. Tarek hiding behind the box. This is all of a sudden looking really, really good for CLG. Great positioning. Molotov even coming out as well onto the bomb. So this round is virtually over for Mythic. Molotov's going to delay him a little bit. Pitt's going to get on the bomb. Peter's got to hit the shot, and it does.
Oh. Talk about being clutch, and Pitt knew that the time is such that he had to be on that bomb as well, so pushed through the Molotov as well. Yep. Look, go through the Molotov or not, it was up to Peter to hit the shot regardless, so he was dead either way without his teammate to support. And man, Peter coming up in an absolute crucial moment. So 3-1 Mythic, not a bad start at all. We mentioned it, if Peter and Pith, those 2 exact players, could continue playing as they did in the previous map, they could take this from CLG. And remember what that means with Cloud9 on the opposite side. It's going to be a pistol, limited only for FNS. The rest get out the AKs, but there is an op still on Peter. A P90 for Devilwalk.
This is a third different defensive look that Mythic's bringing out here in the 3 gun runs that we've seen. Devilwalk and Lex working together, being very mobile, coming out of this B bomb site. Devilwalk's going to play close up with this P90. He's going to need a pop flash for his team. 4 members of CLG executing this mid B split, and Devilwalk gets caught with a nade in his hand. But there's still 2 members in the B bomb site, Lex and Peter. What can they do? Peter's completely blind. Lex gets one with the FAMAS. There's Peter. Can't hit the shot, hides behind the barrel, and he just gets taken out. So 4 on 2 now, all up to this retake.
It's too bad Lex couldn't hit that second player and just allow Peter to focus on the tunnels, because overwhelmed in the back of the site. He goes down quite easily, and so now it's CLG's turn to respond, and Tarek was just waiting to get back inside middle. Pith and Anger, there's no escape plan. It's going to be 1 round the difference, and economy, because it never really stabilized for Mythic, is already broken just like that.
Yeah, it's entirely shot. So good round by CLG, just overwhelming Devilwalk in middle. And it actually looked like Devilwalk and Lex had a good setup. They both came out of the B bomb site to focus there. Lex goes back into B, and that's when CLG makes their move. That's a very heavy mid B split with 4 players coming out. And now they're coming out long very, very quickly. Still, I mean, this is just that eco round, but once again, we're seeing the presence in mid. They want to get that information looking through those doors, but unfortunately, Pitt's head gets taken off for his trouble.
This Stacko on catwalk could work out, because Hayes wanted to do the early damage, did get the first shot into Anger, as he doesn't have armor, goes down to 39. But with 2 of them there, he was overwhelmed and couldn't do much about it. Meanwhile, Devilwalk has already pushed all the way up middle. Good chance for him to wrap back around. He's actually gone all the way through Suicide to check out T-Spawn, and he might actually check B, because he hasn't got the call yet that they're on A. Now he rotates back in, but meanwhile, there's lots of activity on the site. It's going to be Anger to pop up. Excellent kill from him on a Cutler, because that drops the bomb down, so Tarek has to go recovery mode. Anger's low on HP, but still has this position to work with. Won't be able to. He pops up into JDM's bullets. The spray from the MP7. But they bought a lot of time here, as CLG just now going to recover that bomb. And JDM going to take down Lex. It's left to Devilwalk.
Yeah, ooh, Devilwalk, the nice kill. So 3 kills. This is nice economic damage they're pulling out on this eco round. But I mean, that was the thing. That could have gotten more scary. Peter had that AK-47 on catwalk. Anger was just trying to bait and bide time, waiting for Peter to kind of bail him out and give him that kill to really pull off something magical. Couldn't do it. Either way, nicely done from them. 3 kills. Devilwalk is going to go down there at the end. And this is kind of an interesting question, and it looks like they are just going to keep the pistols, because they had 2 players who can't really buy. Pitt and Devilwalk both, even Lex, pretty low on money. So they want to save 1 more round, make sure they can have their utilities, make sure they can get that AWP in Peter's hands, get him back.
Ooh, this is interesting, though. The shot that op to Tarek because he had the A spawn. So look for him to get a really early presence at long A, and there's not even going to be anyone there. So if they push out onto A right now, there's a good chance they can get all the way forward as these pistols have gone for a bit of a stack over toward B. Devil Walk, Peter, Lex, all three of those members inside that B site. So Tarek's just going to slowly evaluate the angles, clear each spot, and eventually they're going to realize that A might be open. But having not seen anyone at B, the rotation's slowly coming back the other direction, and Cutler's down to 6 HP as a result. It's Devil Walk to eventually pay the price, and Tarek luckily taking down Anger. But they still need to be careful for Cutler not to lose that weapon.
Yeah, he got dinked early on. He still gets 2 kills, and he's able to fall away. That's well done. Lex, the last one left. He's going to try and find Cutler over towards long, but it looks like Tarek's going to find him just before he can get into cover. Or FNS, excuse me, takes him out. That's from mid double doors.
And we got a pause that was called just at the end of that round by Peter. So I'm not 100% sure. I don't imagine, yeah, comp crash. I was going to say, I don't imagine this is tactical because there's absolutely no reason for that at this point in the matchup. So Pith has some PC issues. Hopefully those will be resolved quite quickly. There's definitely a system in place for that. But decent start by both sides. Counter Logic Gaming coming a little bit further back into this. JDM going to have the op out again in this particular round.
So is Peter. And that double save. So, I mean, Counter Logic Gaming has got to know that op's coming because of the double save. That's the intel they need. Now they know that they're prioritizing that op. And it'll be curious to see if there's going to be a switch to a double op setup on a map like Dust2.
Oh, there's tons of potential for it. You're right.
But who would be the second op?
That's the exact question that I was about to ask. Who goes for it? Lex back in the day actually tried his hand as an opper about 2 seasons ago, so he can if he had to, but he hasn't done it at all this season. So it would be a stretch to see it.
I think it was FNS actually that made a joke at one point that the old Mythic squad had like 6 or 7 oppers on the team.
Yep, that's right. They had Flom for a while, who was obviously an opper. Yeah, they definitely did. They had a lot of people that could play the weapon. But Lex, I mean, in a situation, if they elect to go that route, Lex could be someone they look to do that. They do have that option.
Yeah, and I'm interested because this mid pressure that Mythic is putting on hasn't really yielded them too many results. CLG, much like against Elevate, they're doing a good job of really neutralizing the early round aggression from some of these teams on their offensive side. So any kind of push that these CTs have made, whether it be Mythic or Elevate earlier, they've done a very good job handling it. Up 4-3 right now, full kits, a lot of money built up as well.
Yeah, and I mean that's the benefit of that double save. But the other thing as well, though, is the amount of bomb plants that CLG has had has just kept them in this so well. And again, they've got another round in hand, as we can already see in the money with their guns already in place. Obviously, right now on the stream, we can't see it, but it's basically Cutler 43, 47.50 for Tarek, 88.50 for FNS,
yep.
Hayes 49, 48 for JDM. It's looking pretty solid for them to get into another one here, even if they lose this one. So that's a good start to have on the T side specifically. And again, we did mention that this map should favor CLG. They like the open style of the map, and I think their T side is going to be a large part of that. So if Mythic can find a way to break that economy and keep this close, then they do definitely give themselves a chance when we swap over.
The real question is they're going to have to be able to stop. I mean, this is CLG already in the 4 rounds they've won. They've thrown 2 mid B splits that have been reasonably successful. So I mean that's something that Mythic's got to watch out for, because on some of those mid B splits it wasn't even like they were scouting for information. It was like, all right guys, let's group up at the doors, let's throw the smoke, and let's just get out, see what we find. And they've done very well with it. And they've called it a couple times on light economic rounds. Like the one round that went out, Devil Walk just had a P90. So they're kind of it seems like they're calling that when they think there's an economic stress on the CT side. And we can hear Fallen in the background. I don't know if you guys are catching that through our mics, but Fallen is actually, talking to Devil Walk after the last match, Fallen actually was playing a pretty active role behind them. Whether it be giving them advice on what they should do tactically, keeping them centered, keeping them calm, and that's very interesting to see.
And it'll be interesting to see actually as well if obviously Fallen was here for business reasons this weekend as well as to support friends, but he's not always going to be at these lands. He's not in a coaching role specifically with this team, but much like Peter, who just happened to be at the same lands, took that role and said, all right, I'll stand behind you guys. It'll be interesting to see how much Fallen actually does this moving forward, if these guys can, obviously find another organization and find the positions at lands to continue attending, if it's something that's a trend that continues, to see him in more of a coaching role with them.
Yeah, well, his team's going to be at the major, so if Mythic does happen to qualify,
that's true.
Make it. I doubt we're going to see it there. I doubt it. But either way, we did just get Pit back in the server, so we should be ready to go pretty soon here, I would assume.
And we do, you already mentioned it was obviously going to be a buy, but Peter's already gone for that op, so we have that information. And then the question, of course, you posed, and what we're about to find out is, do they elect to go for the double op? Devil Walk's already picked up an M4, and so is Lex. So
yeah, for as much as we see double op on this map at times, I don't think Mythic really has the personnel to pull it off.
Yeah, I agree. It would be nice for nostalgic's sake to see Lex pull it out.
Would it?
Yeah,
I don't
think 4K in there, get one giant highlight for Lex.
I don't think he'd do it in such a crucial matchup.
No, that's true. These guys definitely have a lot to prove. Not pleased with the results on land. Definitely making up for it, though, in the last 2 events they've been to by picking up a map last week. Also in the upper bracket so far in this one. Peter's going to start it off. Nice shot on Tarek as he tries to get himself into top mid and down toward Catwalk. And Peter's going to change his angle entirely on the back of that. And I like this play because having the op at car, he can shut down Catwalk so well. And Pith is now in a spot, so long as he doesn't over-rotate, to support on the drop. But what a shot from Hayes. Never mind that theory because Peter's op isn't in play anymore.
Yeah, Peter's got to be a little bit more prepared for that one. Swinging too wide, not ready to take the shot. Hayes just getting out quickly over towards the quad. Drops him, and now it's another retake scenario on this A bomb site. Angers, he has control long, so that's the good part. They have 2 avenues to retake this, but it's going to be all up. Can they get up Catwalk? Can they be effective? They need to take JDM out here.
Look at the angle he's holding, too. He knows they're going to be up close, so he lines them, and oh my goodness, through both of them. It's a double kill, but Lex does come back in with 2 of his own. Not quite in the same fashion, but it's still effective. It's going to take down Cutler, brings it back to what now is a one-on-one as Hayes. He's going to close it out. Lex didn't have the HP to take the fight. He got the initial shot through the wall, but that was it. Succumbs to his injuries in the end, and counter logic with another bomb plant and a 5th round.
Yeah, so many heroics almost coming out there. JDM with a double, Lex getting 2 of his own, opening things up, and then Anger even grabbing one at long, but Hayes positioning himself very well to find 2 one-on-ones, and that's a shot you have to hit. If you're going to be on that ramp, if you're going to fall into CT spawn, you kind of remove your angle if you have to kill a diffuser, so you have to get that first kill onto the player crossing long, and he does it. Wonderful job from Hayes.
So Tarek out long, but look at the stack from the pistols right now. He gets flashed around. That gives him the shot on Peter. He knows they're all there, and it's like watching a bunch of bots as they synchronize swim up toward the corner, but it's still going to work out for CLG. Cutler's going to take down Lex, and only 1 kill going against them. As Pith and Anger remain, but information already gathered, bomb heading toward B.
Well, and here's the thing as well. Hayes and FNS already setting up for positions to prevent this AK-47 from being saved. They know they've locked them into long, so once this bomb gets planted, even Cutler can start being aggressive, and they can start hunting down these guns, prevent Mythic from having any kind of, economic consolation prize, as you called it earlier.
Finesse onto Anger, finesse onto Pith. Finesse to close the round. 6-3, they double up. And now we're getting things rolling for CLG. This is what they want. By winning this, they secure the victory in Group B. They avoid Cloud9 and give themselves an excellent shot to qualify for the major in Cologne versus either Tempo Storm or Team Liquid. Now, of course, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Still a chance here for Mythic to come back because they do have weapons back up in this round, and Peter has his op. And JDM already spotting one crossing, doesn't have a return shot coming in from Peter, although initially he went toward long to try and find a fight there.
Yeah, Catwalk smoked off by Mythic. Full mid control for CLG. Outside of the rounds that Peter's, had an op looking up through those double doors, it's been basically full mid control for CLG whenever they want to take it. They're going to move up towards Cat. This has been their trend. Take control of Cat, see if they can push back any kind of a defense there, get any of those kills, and then prod their way into A. FNS still watching for a long, any kind of long push, but Peter's just holding this angle at Goose.
Yeah, Goose, which isn't a common spot for an op to be. Usually you're a little bit further down on the boxes so you can control the angle because this is so easy to lock him in position with utilities. Still hits the first shot on Hazed. That's well placed. Going to flash himself back out. Doesn't go for the initial peek because they are setting up in the counter, and there it is. There's the utility. Now he's locked in, setting up to counter that when he goes for the peek, and now he has to swap to the pistol, and Cutler's already on top of him. Finesse found a kill before that. That's Devil Walk to drop down, so it's left to Anger, and Anger finding out where Cutler is. He's also going to take down Tarek, so good turnaround from him in this particular round. I know Devil Walk gave him massive props at the end of last match. Well, he can do so again in this round because Finesse, although he's found Pith, hasn't necessarily pulled this round into Mythic's favor yet, but Anger's done a lot to do so.
Yeah, nice molly from Lex. That's gonna slow down this attack. He knows he's getting pinched. He's got to be careful. FNS, this is a big play he's making. Just walking up to window. Lex, he's ready for it, but he can't hit the shot. FNS down to 28, but they are gonna get into this B bomb site. They're gonna get it planted. Anger's on the rotate. He's got a lot more to do. 2 kills and a Molotov.
And they got that in place with 2 seconds more than it was needed before the round would expire, so it does go down, and that means Anger has to take this against 2. He's got very good damage on to Finesse on the initial shot, but look at the fire. It just holds him out for so much longer. He has a kit, so he's got the time to wait that out, but they both know where he is, and they've got this crossfire set. Interestingly, JDM sticks to the op, because if Finesse goes down and JDM can't follow up the shot, there's a chance the M4 could overwhelm, but never mind that. JDM on these close angles so far has been pretty on point.
Really, really well done by FNS, just teasing him with those half peaks. Anger could not find the fight that he wanted to commit to whatsoever. Couldn't handle that. And that's going to be the 7th round for CLG. These rounds, I mean, the early in the mid rounds, Mythic are playing very well. It's towards the end of these rounds when you need to close them out. They're not able to finish these rounds off, so they're not not having success there, winning some of these situationals after the bombs get planted. And another stack over towards long. All 5 members of Mythic at this long corner. Anger finally rotates back.
He's trying to establish a catwalk presence, an early nade on the corner just to be sure no one else is there. Anger flashing over. Comes around the corner just a little bit too late to spot anyone on Cat. Stack's still there on that A site. Devil walk down, Hazed, he just lines them up. They're all gonna fall. He takes the third as well on Pith. Good spray control by him. And now it's left to Peter and Anger again with just pistols. This has been the problem for Mythic, has it not?
Yeah, well, they want this op in Peter's hands, so it's kind of, eventually they're going to get to a point where they need to win the rounds more than they can afford to save for an op. So this is maybe the last round they can actually save just to get him the AWP. He does find an AK-47 just wandering through T-spawn. That was FNS's, but he's going to get hunted down by Tarek. I'd like to see a little bit of a switch in the defense when they, you know, even if you saw that round that Peter got a pick up middle, rotates over towards Carr with the AWP, well, Mythic's got to have the hang that the fact that CLG likes coming up catwalk, they're executing, whether it's jump off and jump down onto the ramp and swing out behind that. I'd like to see them keep Pit there with Peter. Keep a second player in the bomb site, either at Goose or at the railing to help him out, because Peter's getting overwhelmed there, even if he has the good positioning.
Yeah, the interesting thing about him getting overwhelmed, he's actually picked up a good amount of kills. It's just the fact that he's had to do so much work every single time. So he may get the first or the second, but then he's gone. He's limited, and the support system hasn't quite been in place. He's going to fall this time. This allows Hazed again, who's been excellent on the entry from catwalk, to try and look toward that position. That smoke's going to slow things down a bit, but there is a slight gap.
This is their positioning, it looks like, with JDM, who has the bomb with an AWP in the B tunnels, that this is going to be a mid-B split, but they might actually drop Hayes down off this ramp through the smoke just to see if he can cause some kind of a distraction. Peter gets him in midair once again, and here it is, 3 members coming out mid. There's a pop flash for Devil Walk, but he can't do anything with it.
Insane that Peter hits that shot twice. Hayes just has to shake his head and just call it bad luck almost. Those shots have been so accurate. Lex, meanwhile, though, is holding on beautifully to the B site as he gets aggressive toward the tunnels. This allows Anger now, who's on the flank from long, to push down and potentially get behind Cutler, but he saw that one coming, so it doesn't transpire quite so easily. And with Lex gone, that means Peter now has to hold the B site alone. He's got the HP in his favor, as Tarek does not, but he doesn't have the position to cover that cross. He may spot Tarek just in time, and what a quick scope reaction. Now that drops the bomb. Cutler has to cross just to get to it. He'll try and use the incandescence of the flames to blind his opposition and push toward the window, but it's not going to be enough. Anger holds true, and Anger is definitely performing at this LAN. Yeah,
finally Mythic comes through and converts a good mid-round performance into a victory. That's their 4th. We've talked about the money that's built up on the CLG side so much. JDM is back on the AWP. Peter still has his. Pitt's going to be stuck on a FAMAS this round. And now they have to string them together. If they get reset at this point in the match, this late in the half, it's going to be disastrous.
Devil Walk got tagged up by JDM on that cross. Frustrating because now they've got a weakened player at B. And Peter's going to play directly in mid this time. And interestingly enough, the one round they don't go for that 3 stack on A, that initial 3-person presence with double at long, is the round that's when CLG looks at long.
Yeah, now Devil Walk and Lex have actually pushed into the B tunnels on the other side of the map, so they should know this is going. Well, they have the intel, but actually CLG looks like they might rotate back.
Behind it, too.
But it's almost too late because Lex and Devil Walk, this could be really interesting. They have the intel. They think it's going to be an A hit. But look at how much mid presence Mythic has here. Now they're just going to push up mid, so they're being aggressive. They're saying, we'll take the fight to you. We don't know what's going on. We'll go take the fight, find the intel. FNS is just holding this angle.
And FNS is going to go down by Lex. And again, this call could still be that it is going to be all A on that, whereas Tarek and Cutler are lurking in behind. They've got a chance. Now they're spotted up, and Pith does early damage onto Lex, but in fact, or rather, excuse me, onto Tarek, but in fact, it's Cutler to take down Pith. And Lex escapes with 6 HP. It's a 2-man split, though, interestingly enough. Bombs in the hands of Hayes, then he's going back. He wants to get over toward B, or does he? He's hesitating because now he realizes Peter's going to slow down the 2 men that are there. And with his teammate just in front of him going down a car, where does he go? But Anger, he's reading it wrong as well. Cutler's going to find this. This lurk play is going to secure the round. And that was so close to falling apart on CLG, and yet they find the kills.
Yeah, that was really, really interesting. But what it was is Hayes with the bomb stayed so far back. Anger takes out JDM. He thinks that's just the one lurker. He thinks it's still going to be a committal over towards B, but Hayes jukes him out. So even if kills don't go his way, he had a free plant in that A bomb site. Either way, well done from CLG. It's now 9-4, and Mythic does get reset. And that means going into the next round, actually more aggression. Mythic trying to come up with some kind of aggressive push, throwing bodies at catwalk, but they're just getting destroyed from long range. And this is why we said CLG would like this map. They can sit back, they can take their battles, they can play the deathmatch game.
FNS catching Peter in the corner. JDM with 3 before that. He went down to 7 HP, but it's all left to Lex.
Well,
JDM, there's the fourth.
Here's the tough part here on this last round, that Peter's not going to have the money for an AWP. He's going to have to go onto a rifle. So that could... Oh, no, he does. Oh, he glass cannons it. That's crazy. I did not think he would have the money for it.
So this gives them a bit of a chance. They're going to have to force out entirely beside it. And in fact, Pith is going to be, well, it's not double off, but it's going to be a scout. So another sniper rifle for him. JDM looking to do more damage, and he does. It's Devil Walk again that's hit on the cross. So frustration again for Devil, but we'll see what he can do. As right now, Bomb with a B-buy as Hazed has it in the tunnels. Tarek looking at potential entrance, but it's Cutler searching out what's going on in the middle. And interesting, Peter's pushed up, as is Anger. Again, and look at how forward Peter was on that stairwell. Potentially get caught from lower, but gets back in time.
That push has been done on Catwalk and some emphasis on middle, like throughout this half. But I mean, Luminos or Mythic hasn't been able to find anything. Excuse me. There's Tarek, entry onto Devil Walk. Lex also falls. That's the B bomb site. This round is firmly in the hands of CLG. Pitt trying to come through the smoke. He's got that scout. He does get a nice tag with the no scope. Anger drops down. He's got two right in front of him. Cutler's very low. That'd be a good, easy kill to find, but he's getting mollied back. So much delay going on here. CLG handling these choke points really, really well.
Shot from Pith into Cutler. Works out, but it's Tarek to come right back into it. So CLG again looking to take away not only double digits in the round, but an extra one on top of it for 11, and that's going to be it. Tarek with the Pokeball kill onto Peter. Excellent half, and Mythic not in that one really whatsoever.
No, not in that first half. Well, that's what's crazy is some of those rounds early on.
We're close.
Yeah, we're very, very close. And if they had just won one or two of those, that would have, you know, that could have brought them back and given them more of an opportunity. But they just couldn't build anything because they could not close those rounds out early.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, now the problem is that they are down in a massive deficit. Switching over to a T side. Their T side on cash looked pretty good. Again, though, they're going to have to rely on a lot of entry kills. They're going to have to rely on the economy, which worked against them here with Peter's op to get that out early enough. And again, take a look at that at the action as we always do. It started off close. I mean, it was back and forth. Mythic at one point actually had the lead 2-0 as we see here. But again, I think at 3-1 or something like that before CLG started the comeback. And then it was all them after that. So the momentum is gone as much as the scoreline has slipped away.
Yeah, and this is that round. I actually thought that there was no chance that Mythic actually won this one.
Oh, Peter nailed the shot.
Peter had to hit it, and he does. So full defuse there from Pitt. So that's a lot. That's nice trust, and that's all he had available to him. That's the only option. This is, I mean, this is them. They wanted to retake that bomb site, but then they realized that a 2-on-4 that they just couldn't. And it was too late. They were already getting wrapped around. So a really good half from CLG. Much like we saw them on Overpass, they looked good. They looked like they were very well communicated in the mid rounds, very well coordinated on what everyone wanted to do. Except for maybe that one round where it was like that 2-on-2 split.
That was really
almost
awkward.
Looked like they just like happened to fall into this fake strategy.
And that play got awkward simply because of that push at B that divided them in middle. And with the bomb solo on its own, Cutler manages to pull that back by finding the kills.
Yep.
That could have easily slipped away from them there. But that was really the only sloppy round. You're dead right.
It looked really good though. Like accidentally a very pretty round.
Perfect. Yeah, yeah. Unorthodox, but effective. And now it's going to be JDM boosting up Cutler to get up inside middle, and Tarek's already slipped through the doorway to look at lowers, so they've got a double mid presence right now, and that might come out to play as already they get around the corner from top mid from the T side and try and push onto Cutler and onto Catwalk more specifically. They haven't spotted Tarek, and they actually dropped down the Xbox, and Tarek was behind it, so he's in a pretty good position, and like you just said, he's got the bomb down as Peter does get a response kill and puts it back into a 3-on-3, and Cutler, everywhere he goes, he's got company, but Tarek is still doing the damage.
Yeah, Tarek just being so aggressive, making plays for his team. He's got the bomb down. Low HP player here, but he can't turn in time. Pitt takes him out. Now they can salvage this bomb. Cutler's on Catwalk very close up, so they got to be careful as they run away. He can't connect with the shot just yet, but he does there at the end. Pitt was a low HP player. Peter's actually not too healthy himself, and in a 1-on-2 with this bomb, he's going to take this duel with Cutler, but a nice shot. Takes off the head as soon as it shows up. And that might just be,
I mean, that could be it, exactly, because this just could be over the top. It may not be immediate, but it'll definitely put it potentially out of reach for Mythic, barring any brilliance from them. Scout out for JDM, he's going to go immediately to it. MP9, yeah, you're already looking at me for that Canadian accent.
Scout out.
But it is going to be double from Moss. Cutler and Tarek picking that up. FNS having the other iteration of the MP.
No, and then this is interesting because Mythic's playing so far back right now. They only have one flashbang to use. That's on Lex. So where are they going to decide to use that? They're grouping up. They're just going to walk up Catwalk for now until they're spotted. And no one for CLG peeking mid. It's Cutler and Hayes who have a crossfire set up in mid, waiting for them to come out of those double doors. But Mythic's going to go up catwalk, and this is the thing. JDM's at the car with that scout, so this flashbang is going to be to just blind him for a second or two. Actually, it full blinds him. That's great. They're not going to be able to get that kill, but they will be able to get the bomb planted.
Oh, double damage. He's hit 2 now as Peter and Devil Walk both down to 17 HP, but as you say, bomb down. That's the important aspect of this, as Hayes will just lob in that grenade to clean up the damage done by JDM. And JDM actually hitting a headshot as well onto Peter, so that scout definitely came into play. As Mythic may not get a single kill in this, but they'll have a little bit more money moving forward.
I've got to think that the reason that teams aren't buying armor on these second rounds at times, even if they don't get the plan in the first round, has got to be because
to prove you wrong.
The power of the Tech 9 armor is forcing so many teams to play retake, just the fear of dropping kills, that they know that they feel they can get a plant down pretty confidently and have a third round buy instead of a third round buy with rifles instead of a second round buy with
It's interesting you still say that, though, because the SMGs are such a good counter now to the Tech 9. And for a while that was the trend, but now it's kind of like it was a novelty that's worn off, and it's not a consistent trend that we see anymore. It just kind of happens every now and then.
Just theory crafting to the audience right now.
Yeah, that's fair. We can come up with some crazier stuff. As JDM looks to get a little crazy. He's got the scout again firing through the smoke. No damage done this time, but he did spot up 2 players working toward Cat, and Pith, interestingly enough, as they do have weapons after getting that bomb down, has already pushed inside mid. He's looking to do the shot, do the damage, and he can't. It's JDM that gets back into him with the scout. What a shot by him, as Pith not able to connect. That's absolutely frustrating for him, as Tarek now having the flash on Peter, who looks for the shot into B, is going to do the damage, but he gets bailed out. Peter's saved by Devil Walk, who gets 2 coming in through the window.
Yeah, and this almost looks like it's going to be just an immediate save call. JDM's kind of trapped in CT spawn, but FNS and Cutler, I'd be surprised if they actually went for this. FNS is still so far away. Cutler does find the kill onto Peter from tunnels, but Lex is holding things down. He drops JDM in CT spawn, so no real opportunity for a retake. They're just going to stay back, try and get some exit kills as they leave the bomb site, see if they can get some of these guns out of their hands, force the rebuys. But that was a good mid-B split for Mythic.
FNS continuing to do some damage through the mid doors. But it's too little too late, as obviously the bomb is going to detonate. Does Lex and Devil Walk save their weapons, though they're so low on HP that Cutler has a chance to actually get in behind them post-round. And he's going to spot at least Lex. So 1 goes down, another gun gone, and that actually does still hurt, because despite a bomb going down and winning a round, they don't have a lot of money to play with.
Yeah, smart play by Cutler at the end, just to grab that 1 more. Give his team any kind of advantage that they can get. But Mythic, once again, this was the thing. They couldn't stabilize that economy in the first half. They got reset a couple times when they'd win rounds, and now, I mean, they don't have that mistake to make anymore. 5-13, trying to make this comeback. Once again, 4 players grouped up at the base of Catwalk.
Lex is going to try and push down mid, get some presence in toward the doors, while his teammates Anger and Pit look to do some scouting out on top of Catwalk, get some map control.
And FNS is actually pushed up into the long cave, so he's going to have that advanced position, so he's holding off long. They even drop a smoke behind him.
And this is the right call, because he has that security, doesn't need the help of JDM. He can take his position back down toward the car, have the op in play at Catwalk to slow it down, but the problem is they pulled Cutler up for support. That leaves mid wide open, and now LG are looking to take that. So smoke comes out late, that covers off CT, and by the time they realize it, they're already wrapping in. So 2 players in B have 5 players to contend with before they even are going to get a bailout system, and never mind all of that, because Pith has already taken them both off the map. And they'll throw the bomb over, plenty of time to get that in place.
This is an immediate save call. Yep. Once again, Cutler's already sitting in pit. FNS is going to go for some exits, try and find a sneaky position, and JDM, with that AWP, he's got himself posted up in mid just to watch for anything. But another nice round from Mythic, you're exactly right. That was the difference, because whenever Mythic did that in the first half, they rotated Pit back towards CT spawn. This was just there was no mid presence whatsoever, so that mid-B split was so incredibly effective.
And Anger just seeing what he can find. Doesn't really matter. The mountain's going to go their way. And we talked about fragile economy. That's also going to be boosted up considerably. So Mythic still have a chance here to make this comeback possible. CLG not out of the woods just yet. But again, we said it wouldn't be immediate. It may just be too far to reach. CLG just has to get their composure, slow things down a bit. They'll be forced just with these 3 weapons they have. But that could be enough in certain situations. If it plays out correctly, if they head into those exact points that those guns are going to be at, you find those early kills and the round can absolutely transform. So interesting. Oh, they're going to go for cat boost. I was going to say, interesting that they're going to go for this double long presence again, but as I say it, they switch their direction, and JDM, although flashed because there's no more skybox, has the op aggressively looking toward mid.
This is a very similar setup from every round out of Mythic on the T side. Grouping up at the base of Cat. They're going to go up. They're going to have to fight with JDM, but stops at the angle, does Pit, and he gets taken out for it. And that slows the attack down now.
Slows the attack down, and not only that, it allows JDM to fall with Cutler in a perfect position to support. JDM doesn't drop immediately, so he can still cover Catwalk, and Cutler is free to be mobile. He'll go help out FNS, but again, this is where Cutler made the mistake last round of over-rotating to long when they already had a presence there, and it gave up middle, so they still have to be a bit careful. JDM is going to have to be the one to drop accordingly. Smoke's already deployed as well on CT, but they haven't gone through, so that's one less utility they have to make that play possible.
Yeah, they've still got plenty to work with. Couple flashes, 2 smokes still. Devilwalk's going to try and come out long early, and that's why Cutler rotates back. He just executes Devilwalk. 2 bullets. Here's Lex in mid at the Xbox, throwing that mid to be smoke, blocking off CT spawn. The 3 remaining members of Mythic are going to come out. And that causes CLG inside the B bomb site. They pushed all the way through the tunnels now, so they're going to give this up. And they're going to they just wanted to eliminate half of it, and there's JDM over the smoke, takes out Lex in the window. Hayes is going to be aggressive. He had his pistol out. He gets dropped. And there's Tarek as well. Oh, and a flashbang from his team actually blinds him. That's critical. But doesn't matter. FNS is there to take out Anger. Good trades. 2-on-1 now.
Peter inside the site, the last remaining hope for Mythic, and he can't do anything at all as JDM comes through onto him. Up close and personal with the op, and there it is. CLG now with 14 rounds. It's that close to winning out in Group B, booking a date in the semifinal, although it's one of 2 finals ultimately in the way this format does work. Cloud9 have already secured that from Group A. It's going to be...
Here's that tactical pause where we're going to get another positive out of Mythic. The first one was for the computer crash. This is the tactical pause where they need to talk things over because they're out of mistakes. Sitting at 6-14.
Good position here, though, for money-wise in terms of Peter. He's got 62, so the op's easily going to come back out.
It wasn't tactical. It was mic problems, he says.
So. Oh, well, there you go.
So we're back at it.
Surprised that it wasn't. It was this time. We said last time it was obvious it wasn't tactical. This time it was obvious that it was, and apparently we're wrong.
Not that obvious, I guess.
But there it is. Yeah, Peter goes directly back to the op. Has head armor, single smoke to work with. AK is all around. Otherwise, Pith has 2,200 left over. So he'll be able to drop out something to force after 15 comes up, but it will be a force if 15 comes up right now. As Peter initially looks toward mid, he now drops Suicide. Finesse has the support right now of Cutler and Pit, and they've got the company of Devilwalk who lurks inside. And I think Devilwalk knows he's there. I think he's completely aware that he pushed onto that dumpster, and as that smoke comes out, he assumes that that's going to be Finesse's escape plan, so fires away and hopes to catch him in transition. But Finesse doesn't budge.
No, not at all. And now we see Mythic working their way up Catwalk. JDM's not as aggressive as he was last round. He's back towards the cars. He's just holding this angle, waiting to see if they're going to execute onto the A bomb site. 3 members up there. Lex holding off the mid rotations at the Xbox. Devilwalk going to come group up with them. With this hit, they're still very paused. They're lining up some smokes. You see Pit here. He's ready to drop one. They're going to have to flash JDM back and really swing wide, try and take that battle. Cutler's rotating back right now, so they've spent so much time. That's when Cutler throws his smoke, and he says, all right, there you go, FNS. I'm going to go back and help out JDM, and he might be able to be into a position where he can really bail him out. But Lex coming out mid, finds an opening kill onto Hayes that hasn't forced any rotates quite yet.
Tarek and Lex so close to each other, and Tarek's going to get the better of it. As they couldn't see through the smoke, Tarek's dropped down. He actually picks up Devilwalk as well, so that works out in CLG's favor before Anger gets back in. But now they're going to rush toward an open B site, so that single kill opens it all, and Anger's looking to get this bomb down. And they just have to hold off this retake. And right now, in fact, it's going to be a retake with 2 in mid and 1 coming from tunnels. Pith is pushed up very aggressively, though. He could catch FNS. Should he turn back in time, and he has. And FNS not going to be aware he's there. Pith, easy shot. Now it's all down to Peter and Anger. As Cutler and JDM, no, they're not even going to go.
Yeah, it's a safe call. So they're going to keep that AWP. They're going to fall right back up mid. Nice round from Mythic. They threw the smokes to execute on towards A, and then Lex lurking out gets that kill, and that's kind of the call. They were like, all right, we just took out someone from mid, so let's all drop down, get one more trade, find that B bomb site. But those smoke executes on A, they threw that smoke for the drop player, and it actually worked out to be a mid B smoke because JDM and Cutler were both playing on the railing, so they can't see all that way just because of that one smoke. So it works out very, very well.
So is it a case of prolonging the inevitable or doing the impossible right now for Mythic because they keep this one going, avoiding that match point?
Well, the key is they can't get reset here like they've been. This whole match, really. They've been reset after they win one round. They haven't really been able to get momentum and string multiple rounds together. And at 14, if your opponent's at 14 and your economy gets reset, that's really a tough time.
And Mythic quickly down mid again. As you mentioned, this seems to be the default time and time again for them. As Pit, though, this time looks immediately to the doors, but back up to Cat. It's he and Lex this time who want to try and find the advantage, but JDM does have that op again toward the car, and Cutler, although he's in CT spawn, would be able to rotate fast enough to be in support, and as a result, they don't quite go forward because they can't get that read, so Pith falls back. But they're still lingering on Catwalk with the thought in their mind.
Yeah, waiting for the smoke to dissipate, see what they can do after that. It is 4 members up there, so it does look like it's going to be a Catwalk execute. Last time, they paired it with Lex coming out mid and getting a kill. They were able to fall back because of it.
But I like that Lex is going to sit back in mid to make sure they don't get flanked immediately and get trapped on the Catwalk. And here they go. The drop strategy comes in, so it's up to Cutler to support. He's gone already. And Devil Walk now, that means JDM has to go all the way back toward the pit because he's going to be overwhelmed in numbers right now as Pit finds another kill onto Tarek. And again, Mythic looking good on execution. A bomb down, a one-man advantage now as Finesse gets back into Pit. These late rounds are all going Mythic's way. Again, a T-side that looks quite impressive. But again, so little mistakes can be made at this point in time as Hazed again going to try and save an M4. And the drop strategy works.
Yeah, very nicely done. They occupied JDM with those flashbangs long enough. He wasn't able to even find any success, didn't get those kills, gets taken out immediately. And Hazed can't even save the weapon there, so Mythic now string some rounds together. They can grab some momentum here. It is going to be a save round for CLG. They're hovering around 2,200 to 3,500. And actually, both these teams, these Oppers, when they're playing at CAR, they haven't really had like massive impacts. There's been a lot of A hits against Oppers at CAR, and they have not been effective.
It's like the most common spot you see it play. You always just expect it to be so powerful there, but you're right, it hasn't really.
Like Peter struggled with it in the first half. Now we're seeing JDM really struggle with it.
Yeah, it's definitely hasn't lived up to the expectation. But Devil Walk getting a little bit cheeky here with both JDM and Finesse. Finesse going to cross back over unsighted, so he'll be able to retreat back to the bomb site. And Devil Walk doesn't even want to take the fight. Tarek's low, by the way. He's down to 16. But so far, that's our only damage dealt.
Yeah, and Lex being aggressive out mid, like he's doing in the gun rounds. He's not going to find anything. It's just Tarek and Hayes playing far back into the B bomb site. And this is eventually going to be a mid-B smoke. There's 2 smokes, actually, so they're going to come out. Hayes is going to swing out towards the boxes. Lex takes him down, turns around to watch their flank. They do eliminate Tarek in that B bomb site. Cutler and FNS try and come in. Lex adds 1 more until he falls to FNS.
That's all he's going to find is just that single kill before the bomb does go down. And JDM meets his maker. Anger steals his life away, plays the Grim Reaper, and now guns will come back up. And Mythic might actually get to double digits, which seemed unlikely at the start of this half, specifically after losing that pistol.
It did seem unlikely. And now, I mean, you look at this CLG team, they have some pretty good nades. But they have no defuse kits on any teammate. So these retakes, if it gets into that situation, they're going to have to be very fast, very aggressive retakes, get in there for the 10-second defuse. One member does get tagged. Hayes, as he crosses, gets brought down to 50 HP.
Pith getting aggressive toward the doorway again.
Look at this change, too. JDM's now solo at A. FNS just came to boost Cutler. Now he's going to fall back towards the same bomb site, but it's JDM watching long with the op. They're actually going to swap spots, so it's going to be FNS who takes that over, and JDM back to the car position. But Cutler, because they've been abused by the mid-B split the last couple gun rounds, this is the spot he wants to be in with that boost, not even showing himself until the smoke appears.
And by playing on this particular box, yes, he can jump above and spot them when they get to the top of the ramp at B. He can't play it, as you see Happy often do, where he can spray through the smoke when they round the corner. Fortunately, though, for whatever reason, they don't take that approach. They fall back here on Mythic's side, and Peter now looks toward Catwalk, where, again, JDM waits at car, but perhaps we've overhyped that, so should we even mention it at this point, Moses?
Crucial to mention. Now, I mean, there's 2 smokes here.
It was a rhetorical statement.
2 smokes here for the execute. They're going to throw him out. Doesn't look like they're committing to it, though. The bomb actually falls out. That's Peter just lining up. That's a flash that he...
Watch for a drop strategy again as well. By putting that smoke down, that's what they look for, because now they limit JDM. He does hit the first shot this time, but again, he's overwhelmed. Cutler, it's actually Tarek, never mind, who has to bail him out. That player in CT, when they run that drop, has to come up so massive. And it failed last time. JDM was forced to retreat. They do get a bomb plant down, but they've got a lot more men alive simply because Cutler was able to hit that shot this time.
Yeah, but once again, no kits. This has got to start coming into play right now. Anger's trying to take these battles, not let him up the ramp, but he's actually wide out in the open. If someone does get there, Peter chimes in with a kill. Cutler finds one as well. There's Peter with a second, holding strong. Can't hit the second one. Cutler's so low. Gets pistol whipped, and now JDM, nothing he can do. He's got to follow away with that AWP. Not enough covering fire.
There's a chance here. There's a real chance here for Mythic because they continue to force up a save every second round based on the way CLG's buying. So Mythic now going to hit double digits. This is not impossible, or at least as impossible as it seemed.
Yeah, I mean, they're stringing some together really, really well here. They have a very strong economy. There is still that op on JDM, so they've got to be careful this round. And he's an opera that with his peaking, if he wants to get aggressive, he can find ways to pull his team back into this round. This is very good stuff for Mythic on this terraced half.
JDM going French Rambo when he pulls it off. We saw that this morning. The nade to go out and the immediate peek afterward allows the cross, and Peter dropped instantly. What a play by JDM. And now CLG have a man advantage that they haven't seen that much in this half as of late.
And this is a really smart read by JDM. He just gets that mid pick. He's coming over to get boosted up into the site. Right when Mythic had taken long control, looked like they wanted to aggress up long quickly. But they're going to fall back off it. They're not going to get caught into that trap. Hayes is pushed up into B tunnels. Pitt's going to meet up with him eventually. And actually, there's aggression. Cutler and Tarek and Hayes all pinching onto mid. But Anger.
Oh, what a shot on the second one. The reaction swing over on Cutler, who dropped down. Hayes still takes him away eventually, but that was a heck of a shot to start things off in mid. And now it's going to be Mythic to respond on top of this as Lex getting another kill. It's back to a 2-on-2, which we talked about. The initial pick going to JDM. It's a good turnaround, and they have B site to work with. A smoke on the door, a smoke in the window because the flames have to be extinguished, and it allows DW Devil Walk easily to hit the shot on Finesse when he pushes through. It's left to JDM. Again, Mythic pull this round back.
Yeah, with an AWP and no kit as well, so there's really not too much he can do here. These smokes are fading, so if he wants to peer into the bomb site, see if he can turn it into a one-on-one quickly, but he is not going to. He's going to play the safe route, play a little bit conservative, save that gun. And Mythic still clawing their way back into this matchup. So it's going to be 11-14. JDM in a spot here where he could get one more kill. He does hear one exiting towards CT spawn, towards mid, actually. He could catch Lex off guard. Is Lex ready? He's not. Nice shot from JDM with a P250. Takes one more gun, but not a huge deal because Mythic has been able to build up this economy over the last few rounds. It's so, yeah, it's incredible.
Fortunately, though, this time, due to the lost round bonus that has accumulated and a more conservative buy, they do get guns immediately back up on the CT side. Because usually they've had to save every second round, so this is a bit of a change of pace.
It's because JDM was able to save that up for two rounds. That was the big deal. Pitt's going to go try and take this long battle. He had the spawn for it. That's a double op setup that's been brought out on the T side. Peter and Pitt both employing it. So that's going to slow things down a little bit on their strategies. Not going to allow them to just body their way up and out catwalk. They're going to want these ops to have some time to get these picks. And that's an interesting switch when they're in the middle of a winning streak. JDM, he's in a do-or-die position. Now he's got to drop down, so that leaves the A bomb site very vulnerable.
JDM still in a position, though, where he could do some damage. Needs to be careful because he thinks he's got the space. He doesn't spawn Anger, so he says, I'll go to car. Unfortunately, Anger already had the line of sight on it. And with JDM down, Mythic, again, looking at another bomb plant and another site that has to be retaken by CLG. Smokes as well down below Cutler. He can't even work in toward the site yet. And a late rotation out of B. He's getting one kill on Lex, but not before Tarek went down. And I initially thought that they might go for a 4-man save and get yet another gun round out.
That's what I was thinking too. But now it's definitely going to be a 3-man save. They've got to fall away. That is a big-time lurk from Anger there. Coming out, gets Molotov separated from his team, and he bides his time. He's crouched so no one can spot him, and he catches JDM completely off guard, opens everything up for his team. That's going to be the 12th round for Mythic. This is starting to look very, very good from them. There
was a match this year in Pro League on Overpass against Nihilum at the time, obviously now Maximum Effort, where Luminosity, now Mythic at the time, had a comeback from being down 13-2 at halftime and won the game 16-13. So they've definitely come back. Now, of course, that's online. But they've got the mental fortitude, and it's getting very, very close. And this time, I dare say, we do have a tactical pause, but it's going to be CLG that call it because things are slipping out of control for them big time.
Yeah, they have to discuss what Mythic's doing to them because they're just picking them apart at the moment. Both these teams really have just fallen into this. They take mid control, they go up catwalk, and eventually they end up executing out catwalk. And it comes down to what we said about those oppers at car. They're not being effective, not able to slow this down. They can get a second player at rail to help out that opper, to really change things up, you know, add another little support system for that opper. But this is a really, really nice comeback from Mythic, showing some guts.
Yeah, I mean, we thought it was, I used the catchphrase, is it prolonging the inevitable or doing the impossible? Well, apparently it's making the impossible entirely possible because this has turned around massively. Keep in mind, it was 13 rounds for CLG and only 5 at the time for Mythic.
Yeah, this has been a really nice comeback from them. And that's the thing. There's these teams on their defense really haven't adapted to this catwalk hit. They haven't changed anything up to really stop it. You know, I mentioned bringing that second player, putting him over at railing. but just doing anything, because this one op that, you know, one rifle over at long to hold that, one op at car that's not doing it. It wasn't doing it for Mythic, and they failed to adapt in the first half, and that was a huge win for CLG, and now they're giving that same kind of opportunity to Mythic here.
And much like CLG said that they don't want to play against Cloud9, you have to think Cloud9's probably watching this game hoping they close it out, because last week it wasn't necessarily a comfortable victory against CLG. So both of these teams would like CLG to win it, but Mythic wants to do everything in their power to keep that from happening, and they've definitely made this interesting as JDM again looking aggressive to catwalk. No one there to play with him though.
Yeah, Pitt's coming in a lower B, but JDM with the timing has got to fall back. Look at this upper B push. Devilwalk's able to get one, but Tarek and Hayes combined for 2, so it's a 4-on-3.
And that's a change of pace entirely, because not only have we not seen that much presence inside the B tunnels, but we haven't seen CLG look for that early aggression in that position. So by getting that trade advantage, this bodes well. Again, a man advantage. We said that when JDM got that initial pick at mid on Peter not even 3 rounds ago, and it still came back. So Mythic, let's not underestimate the situation, as Peter with the op and the bomb has Pith and Anger grouping with him right now inside B. And it looks like they're still going to hit here, but JDM's brought that op over onto platform, and he's in a great position. Not only that, he's seen the nades come out, so he pops up and pre-fires into Pith. Excellent shot, and now things look like CLG at least get this into overtime, at the very least, considering how this has played out. And it might happen right now with this 15th round.
Very nice tactical pause. They come out of it. They execute the plan they came up with. It works perfectly for them. Because that's the thing. CLG, in that tactical pause, you know they said, let's push these B tunnels. Let's send 2 players in there. We know there's been a lot of pressure at mid. We know there's been a lot of pressure up catwalk. You're either going to find and win that trade, or you're going to have all the intel for us. You know exactly where they're going. We'll be able to cut the map in half. And it worked beautifully. Peter, all alone in a 1-on-3. He does have the bomb, but 15 seconds to work with, and he's more than likely not even going to be able to save. He does take out Cutler. This could actually get him into the bomb site if FNS can't stop him. He has the time here to get this plant.
Time expired? No, I'm not sure.
He would get it.
Either way, he would have got it, yeah, but finesse is there. And he obviously had to stick it.
Yeah, no other opportunity, but almost.
Is it not weird, though, that every single time we get the tactical pause, it actually works?
It's not that weird.
Okay.
I mean, that's what it's designed for, right?
Sure,
you get 2 minutes instead of 15 seconds.
But it's like it's almost like you could bet on it like 100% these days. It's like it's not always the case.
Right.
You look at
nice
anything
shot
else
by
where a
Peter out of JDM. That's through a smoke as well, or right around the edge of the smoke. That's a good pick to find. JDM was a beast last round with that AWP.
Well, that's a return favor from that round we talked about where JDM got that initial shot. Anger's already worked up mid because they don't have the fear of the op picking them off as they try and work down the catwalk.
All 5 members of Mythic on catwalk right now. Still no movement outside of B. Tarek and Hayes still both playing very dedicated in the bomb site.
And Lex is playing his role again where he's just watching behind. There isn't anyone that's going to trap them in this position, but just to be safe. And around the corner they go, already onto quad. Pith trying to move forward, smoke out. That's going to limit FNS, but he still has the ability to take down Devilwalk as Cutler takes down Pith. It's all coming down to this play right now as the bomb tries to come in, and FNS, he can't land the jump shot. Lex is going to bail out his teammate. So a man advantage now for Mythic. And a bomb in play as Tarek and Hayes both coming from catwalk, and Lex is there, he's flashed, and they check the corner, but Peter's in with the op, already falling onto CT. It leaves it onto Tarek, who's going to take the fight. He actually goes down, but he's blinded up. He's going to take Peter, and he's down onto 56 HP, and Anger gets aggressive. He doesn't even want to give him the position or the thought about winning that round.
Yeah, Tarek makes that very interesting jumping. He gets completely blinded. It's a nice counter flash from Anger to slow him down, but he jumps down anyways, goes for it completely blind. He finds that kill into a one-on-one, but not ready for Anger to peek that. So nicely done for Mythic, finding that pick and then just bullying their way up catwalk. So now 13-15, and that's going to be a reset on the economy for CLG, so they've got to save this round.
Crazy. Crazy. I mean, at least they got that 15th round because right now they needed it. And it may end up playing a factor because overtime is a high possibility. We're going to see 30 rounds if this anti-eco is successful, and so far it is. But do we see more? JDM is going to wait now for this cross with the P250. Pith's now found Tarek, and that wraps it up. Devilwalk has looked solid in this game as well. Another 3K from him, multiple kills in so many rounds. He may only have 12, but a lot of impact frags.
Yeah, look at Anger. Still, he's keeping up his pace from the last match, and now into this last round. Here's the worrisome part for CLG. JDM's had not basically this entire half. This round, last round of the half, to for Mythic to force overtime or for CLG to outright win it, he doesn't have it. So how do they change that up around him?
And Hayes already tagged up again. So Peter doing more damage to the cross, and Anger caught out though. FNS, great push. Cutler was also there to support that and look for a trade. Had it been needed, and it's not.
Both of these times that CLG has needed a round, they get aggressive somewhere on the map. They pushed B tunnels just a couple rounds ago out of that tactical timeout. Found 2 kills that way. This time they get aggressive on Catwalk. Catch Anger completely off guard, not prepared for it whatsoever.
And the gloves are off too, because look at how careful they're being. Late to go toward A, and they still flash the corner just to be sure. Taking absolutely no chances right now is CLG. Again, man advantage. It's overtime or it's all over. As Lex is still supporting in mid to make sure Pith isn't going to get trapped when they move up. Peter slowly bringing that bomb back. JDM, again, doesn't have the op, so he's going to play the long position. This brings Cutler out of CT onto the site and FNS to be the support role.
Hayes is the only player on CLG with any kind of utility. Just used 1 flash. He's got 1 left, but he's in the B bomb site, far away from any of the action. So this is just going to be CLG has to win these battles. Cutler's got to come up huge on railing.
And we talked about a shift. Catwalk has been the trend so far, and it's worked out well for Mythic. They want to do it again. Pith has made it to quad for the 2nd successive round, and Lex and Peter are going to find a kill apiece, as FNS found 1 before, and an assist to help Tarek find 1 of his 2, and then the final from Hayes. It's all over. CLG have wrapped up